The FJ45V is one rare four-wheel drive. Alan Gray and his nephew Andrew Gray have accepted the challenge to bring this old girl back to life. How will Alan work alongside a mechanic 50 years his junior? Will they succeed in restoring this Land Cruiser? And all within budget.
Well, Andrew, you promised to be on your best behaviour for a change. I think we ought to pull the transfer case gearbox out because although it's reliable and it sounds all right, we'll put a set of bearings in it. You up for that?
Yeah, why not?
Removing and fixing up a gearbox can be quite involved, but this should be no problem for the expertise of Alan and Andrew, so they get stuck into it.
One advantage of these vehicles, you can get to them. I mean, we'll have this out in half an hour. It'll be 2.5, 3 hours to get a late model one out, probably more. That's the gear lever, that's the start.
Alan and Andrew remove the transmission tunnel for better access to the
Take
gearbox.
it out your side, make you look like the hero. Look, I did it all on my own. Plenty of room now to work. It's good on these old vehicles. 10 minutes, laying on the ground. Can you lift? Yep. I'll just grunt. Right, about 2. Go on, lift it up. Right, bang. Okay, so here's the gearbox out of that project car. Sounds right, drives all right, but we want to put a set of bearings in it and have a look at it, make sure it's reliable. So we'll get it down to our gearbox hospital and pull her apart and have a good close look at it. I'm going to pull this top thing apart, but I'm teaching him how to use an impact tool. It's coming along real good. Oh, beauty, boy. First impression, pretty good. But we need to pull it apart and put some bearings in it. It's flying apart. It's the quickest one I've pulled apart without doing any work. The output gear here, it's quite worn on the spline. The rest of the block looks all right. We'll pull it completely apart.
It's always important to check each and every component for wear or free play before it's removed.
This is the counter shaft out of the transfer case. And as you can see, it's very badly worn. That'll need to be replaced.
Sometimes the bearings get very tight on the shaft, so we're going to put it in the press and just press it a little bit at a time. Okay, so we've got that back bearing out, and now we should be able to pull the whole main shaft out. Okay, so we've got third gear coming off now, and if we drag off the last of the gears off the main shaft, and we'll be checking all these teeth for wear. Pity that they didn't pick up more of the shaft when they made it with a wider gear, but we now make a gear that actually is twice as wide as that. That's why our rebuild gearboxes are far better than the original. The only part worn on that is this little bit here, and we've overcome that problem.
A closer look at clean components will reveal any further issues.
Yeah, we're going to change a couple of other things. The bushes has come loose in one of the gears, and other than that, we'll just put brand new bearings and synchro rings and gaskets in it and put it back together. We're going to use one of our kits. This is a transfer case and gearbox combined kit. You'll notice we're using Koyo Japanese bearings. We're the biggest purchaser of Koyo bearings in Australia. All Japanese parts where we can source them. I'll use them now to put this gearbox back together. And starting off with the main shaft. Okay, we've got the main shaft assembled as much as we can. Counter shaft's ready there. As soon as the housing's cleaned up, I'll come back and we'll put it back together.
You finished the gearbox yet, Al?
I wondered when you're going to turn up. Did you have a good sleep?
Oh, it wasn't too bad.
Well, good. Yeah, the gearbox is pretty good. Looks all good, sounds good, everything's free. Just putting the transfer case back together. And we've got some good bearings out of our kit here and a couple of new oil seals, and she should be 100%, even with Andrew driving it.
Time to use the transmission jack again to get this rebuilt gearbox back into the old
come
girl.
down. Ooh, very heavy box. It's very hard to do unless you've got it on a jack. We've got this on rollers. We're going to just push that gently in there at the moment, and there'll be no strain at all on the clutch plate. Index. We'll be in a minute.
With all the heavy lifting done, there's just a few more bits and pieces to do.
In there. We'll finish the transfer case and put that up. Just a clutch, put the base plate on. We'll be ready to drive it.
Beautiful. Looking forward to that.
And I think I've had it for the day.
Fair enough.
All right, I'll catch you later.
All right.
Good go.
You have a good
Catch you
one.
running. Oh, it's right moving.
Watch your head.
For all of your four-wheel drive gearbox components, contact Terrain Tamer.